Hey, good afternoon, Johnny. How are you today, sir?
Doing great. How are you doing, Mike?
Overall, pretty well. It's a good day where I am. I'm happy to be alive and really happy to be here with you and talking all things retirement planning and things. So I don't know when you were a kid, Johnny, in high school, maybe I don't know. Did you ever go to like a dance prom or anything like that?
We did. We had the dances after football games and all back in those days.
Yeah.
At our school, at least, the dances were right after the game. So if you play football, you get all sweaty, you got to shower and go to the dance real quick. But
Oh yeah.
small little high school, had them in the gyms. Nothing
Love
big,
it.
but something to do.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about dance parties, right? And if you ever went with a girl, had a girlfriend or something, you took her to the dance, you danced, you had a good time, and then you would take her home, right? And that's the gentlemanly thing to do. And we're kind of talking about that today, but I want to put a little spin on it because what we want to talk today is about your retirement dance partner. Okay. And
Hmm.
really what I want to talk about is how the person who brings you to the dance and dances with you through the accumulation years as you're saving money for retirement may not be the right person to take you home at night, because there's a difference between growing money, accumulating money for retirement, and actually keeping it and using it. So that's what I want to talk about, the retirement dance partner. Does that make sense? Does that resonate?
It does. I think I got it, man. I like this. This is some good. Yeah. This is really, man, we've done a good job with this title. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, let's do it.
Well, let's talk about that. So in this retirement dance partner aspect, you've got somebody who helps you create money through the years that you're working, whether you're putting in a 401k or whatever you are. So talk about that. I mean, traditionally they would be what, a financial advisor, wealth manager, somebody like that. Good people doing their job, right?
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's like let's say break it down what we got. We got your 401ks, and
Mm-hmm.
that 401k is just you're working in it. And really most people aren't that involved with it, right? They just every year they get the thing like, oh, we recommend you do this based on your retirement age, you put it in. So you got that going on. A lot of folks have a financial planner or something like that during their working years. They're figuring out bills, budget, what they want to have in retirement, how to invest the money, and all this kind of stuff, which is all good. But when you get to close to retirement, you're starting to think about it, or you're retired, everything kind of shifts, right? You don't just keep your 401k from your company rest of your life because that vehicle doesn't fit the stage of your life, you know? And perhaps the financial person that you were dealing with that helps you become successful in saving and did well. Everyone has different skills and abilities. So maybe their skill is just to get you there. And they don't really plan out everything that needs to be part of retirement planning, right? I mean, if you get a car, and we were just talking about your car
Yeah.
before we came on here, right? I mean, you get a car that's older, you go to the salesman, you buy this 2015 car. 8 years later, something's wrong with it. You don't go back to the salesman and say, where's your wrench and stuff? Come and fix it. The salesman had their role in your life that put you in this vehicle, but you're at a different stage now where now it needs to be worked on. Now you go to someone that can fix the car, a mechanic
Yeah.
or something, right? So the cook at a restaurant doesn't bring you out the food, give you your forks and silverware, and serve you drinks. The
Right.
cook had a role. They made your food really good, specialized it based on what you told them you wanted. But then the waitress or the wait staff or the waiter come out and they take care of that part of it for your meal
Mm-hmm.
experience. So when you break it down over a long period of time with retirement, same general concept, right? We have our dance partner for years,
Yeah.
but now we're at a different stage to where, okay, now I've maybe got to switch and focus in on this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? How am I gonna? I don't want the cook to come out and take care of waiting on me because he's got a special thing he does. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want my salesman that sold me my car 6 years ago to work on my car.
Right.
Right? And so same thing with retirement.
Yeah, and it's really cool because financial advisors, planners, wealth managers, they have a role to play, just like you said. They're like the chef right in the back. They get you here, but when you get close to retirement, you really need to shift partners. You need to I don't know if it's like square dancing, right? You tap somebody on the shoulder, then you take over the partner. I'm not much on dancing, but you need to change partners because what you do, Johnny, is you help people get from the dance after they've accumulated their money. They have this nest egg. They're thinking about retirement, and retirement for most people lasts, quite a couple 3 decades sometimes. how are you going to leverage all of that, all those resources that you've accumulated? And many financial advisors who bring you this far don't have the skill sets, the tools, the expertise to get you through retirement like you do. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, and we're not about like I'm not trying to break you up with your girlfriend, right? I'm not trying to
Right.
do that. I'm just saying there's a different phase. Some financial planners do go into some of those details and stuff, and that's fine. And if they
Yeah.
still can partner along with this part of your journey still a little bit, absolutely. But there's once again, man, you got to add the mechanic in your life now to maybe work on your car when time comes. So retirement planning, once again, isn't just about money. And I think we're going to talk about that
Yeah.
later on at a different time, and we've discussed it before. Retirement planning has to do with Social Security planning, tax planning, Medicare, health insurance planning, life insurance planning, long-term care. It seems like a lot of bullet points, but it really is because you've worked 35 years and hopefully you're going to be retired 25, 30 years. We're living longer. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we have to put as much emphasis on every one of those details in retirement as we focused on getting to that point in our life. And so
Right.
that's kind of the part of it. So I sit with a lot of people, believe me, and we sit down with clients, we do our workshops and seminars. People will come in sometime and not a slamming anybody. I'm just saying, I've been working with so and so, and I didn't know anything about this tax stuff. I didn't know anything about how this will coincide with Medicare planning, Social Security plan. I didn't really know those things. And that I'm not slamming the person that got them there because that was their role. They sold them the car, they put them in a beautiful vehicle, right? And met
Hmm.
all their needs. They wanted the Bluetooth, the sky window on the top of it, uh,
Yep.
all this kind of stuff. And they put them what they needed to be in. But now maybe we need to do a little more in-depth work on that. And so it's just transitioning to adding, complementing what they're doing, or sometimes
Right.
overall just taking a different approach at that stage in your life. Once again, we're not
Yeah.
breaking up girlfriends or relationships. That's not our goal. Our
Right.
goal is to make it successful. That once that dance is over, you're going to still be going okay and get home all right.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is the getting home all right, because getting home, if you would say getting, what is getting home? Well, it's those retirement years. It might be when you pass away, right? Have you been able to provide for your family in the next generation? Have you maintained a low stress environment because you know you have income for life? Do you have long-term care? It's all of these factors, tax planning and things that sometimes you might just need a second opinion because you have a decent dance partner. Some people go to the dance solo. I know I went to a couple dances by myself, right? And some people
Amen.
manage their finances by themselves throughout life, and that's okay. But retirement's a little different animal, right? There are so many intricacies in timing of when do you take Social Security, or how about this structure of taxes. There are so many things that make it more complex than just putting money in a 401k for the 30 years and look, I have a nest egg, right?
Yeah, it sure is. And along the dance thing is, um, it's when you get to retirement, it is like final. And what I mean is you have a finite amount of money, right? So
Hmm.
you've got to make sure that planning and that person that's going to help you put in those situations are going to um, do the best for you for that kind of once again limited resources you're going to have. How do I make this money last? How do I make sure I make the right decision on? You can't change your mind on Social Security, right? Turn it on. 3 years later, you're like, well, I should have waited. I'm going to turn it off and wait. No, these are decisions that you make that are going to impact in a definitive way the next 20, 25, 30 years of your life. Like it is it's like the marriage, right? You have girlfriends
Right.
you date in high school, go to dances with, but when it's marriage time, man, it's hopefully it's final. This is it. This is what's going to happen now. That partner needs to be a long-term thing, and think of it the same way with retirement, man. This is a finite thing I'm dealing with here. I've got to make sure I make the right choices early on in this retirement stage so that this long-term relationship I'm going to have is going to be successful
Yeah.
during my retirement years. So
Yeah, and I love the way you put that, because, working with you and your team, I mean, I know that's a big value system that you guys have is the relational component of it's. This is not about, oh, buy this product or this thing. It's what's going on in your life for your clients, right? And how can we help you structure your retirement years so that not only are you protected, but you actually can keep ahead of inflation, because there are some ways to do that, because that's probably going to happen. Healthcare, I mean, there's so many things that a lot of people don't even think about until it's too late. What you do is when you sit down with
Right.
people, talk about that, you just kind of you hear them, look at their plan, and have conversations. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, it comes down to kind of what's in someone's heart, what's their goals, what's their passions, what do they want to accomplish? Because you need to plan out, like, this is what I want to try to have happen in a best case scenario over the next 20, 25 years, but we're going to plan for the worst case. So
Mm,
we're going to put you in position to be successful. But if things fall apart in certain areas, we still want you to be in a great shape. You know what I mean? So we're kind of the people that are going to be like, this is what your goals are. We're going to strive to get you there. But in case this other stuff happens, we want to make it so you're still okay. You're able to
right,
reach your goals and things like that. So we don't want to be like a leaf floating in the wind that can just go any direction or any way. We want to
right,
kind of root ourselves in the ground now, like
right,
a tree or something. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it's it's hard. It's like, man, I just had my Christmas decorations done. Merry Christmas, by the way, Mike, a few weeks away, right?
Thank you
Just
very much. Yeah, it's coming up quick. Thank you.
got them done in our yard the other day. And some of these decorations, I go all out, man. I do it for my grandson and kids. I love it. We got all kinds of stuff. But anyway, some of those things, they give you these little dinky, if you ever buy this stuff for your yard, these little dinky spikes to stick in the ground. And the thing's 5 feet tall. And I could go and blow on it with my mouth, it'll fall over, right?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
rooted very deep. So I got to go buy my own stakes and figure out big old, like you do in tents and all this stuff to support these things. So you
Okay.
don't want
Yeah,
to go into retirement with like these little small stakes where it just takes one little blow and it's out of the way, falls right over. So we want to,
right.
man, get rooted, dig something in deep, make sure we got some solid ground for those next 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
Because
And
when
we,
the winds blow and the storms come,
that's
I
right.
still want to be standing, right? So I'm so
Yeah.
proud when we got like these big angels with these wings out there. And it used to be, like I said, man, a little bit of wind, those things fell over and the wings are breaking. But I've got some good things now where them babies have not fallen the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
great.
I stake them things down. So when I go out there and see, man, it's 20-mile-an-hour winds and them angels are still up, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
That's how it's supposed to be. Because in
mhm,
retirement, the stakes are high, right? And
yep.
you don't want to make a wrong move. And that's why finding somebody like Johnny, just to sit down, have some initial conversations with, lay everything out, and say, this is what we are, this is what we have. And if you've got if you've done well on yourself, you've got a planner who's done really well, Johnny's going to look at it and go, you're good to go. But odds are there are two or three areas that might need some shoring up, some stakes driven in the ground, and that's okay. You work with them, but it's having that conversation. I know, Johnny, in your book, you talk a lot about that building a shield around your retirement so you can retire at new heights, because that's really what we're talking about. Is how do we make sure that we transition into retirement as seamlessly as possible, with as much confidence as possible, that it's going to be smooth sailing. We may hit a few bumps. There may be some storms we're not expecting, but with proper planning, everything's going to be okay. Just like you're driving stakes in the ground, keep those angels' wings up. Same thing with retirement, right?
Absolutely, because once again, I love this Christmas analogy. I just kind of thought of it, but man, when you buy this stuff, they literally give you these little stakes, and if you have Christmas decorations, you know what I mean. So like you're going to the Sam's or wherever you're buying this stuff, and these stakes are 4 inches deep, and it's trying to hold this giant thing in the ground. So they're not preparing you for the worst. They're preparing you for zero wind, no nothing. It's just going to stand there and look beautiful. So
Yeah.
you've got to change. You've got to change up and get grounded in the ground, man, big time. So once again, this place where you're getting something from, yeah, get you set up, looks beautiful, but you got to make some adjustments because the storms will come, and you got to make sure you're staying. I got to make sure that angel or the Santa Claus or the nativity scene I got, you don't want to
Mhm.
see Jesus face first on the ground, right? Little
That's
baby
not good.
Jesus, man, he needs to
That's
be in
not
that manger nice. So you got to stake that thing in the ground deep because they do not give you the resources to withstand some of the storms
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
So
and you got some retirement stakes, let's call them, to drive in the ground to help people with income for life, long-term planning. We've had Heather Schreiber on here talking about Social Security, and there are so many things that we need to do to get your financial house in order and make sure that you have the right dance partner throughout your retirement. And Johnny's got a lot of rhythm. He can probably do a jig once or twice, but um, having a retirement dance partner is
my
really
wife, not me.
important. There you go. So let me, Johnny, just as we wrap up this little episode, it was a fun little episode, and it hopefully it drives home the point that everybody needs a retirement dance partner. They need somebody who really understands the intricacies of retirement planning, from taxes and Social Security and income and long-term care. And I mean, there's so many things to make sure that you're set up, to make sure you're safe and secure, to make sure you're going to withstand the storms that are going to be coming, right? And to make sure you sleep well at night with very little stress, knowing that you've done your job. And Johnny and his team can help you just talk through that, have those conversations, reach out and get a copy of Johnny's book. And you can go to retire at newheights.com. And when you type that in, you'll get to a page where you can request a free copy of his book, read that, and then schedule a call with Johnny and see if maybe he could become your retirement dance partner. And that would be a really good thing. That'd be a really good move. And I just think it's a neat concept. And as you think about Christmas decorations, every time you look at a Christmas decoration, I want you to think of how deep are my stakes in retirement.
Absolutely. I changed your mind on Christmas decorations right there. So when you buy them,
Exactly.
everybody, the most important thing, if you buy that stuff, go to Ace or go to Home Depot or something, buy yourself some big steaks. You got
Yeah,
to put that stuff. Don't go by what they give you in the boxes, I promise.
that's great. That's great. Not only financial advice, but Christmas ornamental advices too from
Absolutely.
Johnny Roberts. Brother, thanks for a great episode. Look forward to continuing our discussion next week.
All right. Have a good one.